Hello, good afternoon. It's Marty from Down the Rabbit Hole Travel. Don't Google Down the Rabbit Hole if you want to find me. Apparently, I've been told by a couple people you have to search Down the Rabbit Hole Travel. Anyways, it's Friday, it's noon, the weekend is starting, and it's time for Friday Travel Trivia. Today's subject is San Francisco, which is a super awesome city. I love it. And I need to go back because I definitely didn't see everything I wanted to see the first time. Got to do my intro. I was told I need to do an intro on a live stream. Just because it's a live stream doesn't mean I can just jump right into it. First, I'm going to say hi to Golden Swagger. I don't think I've seen you in my chat before. I'm so excited that you're here. Angela in Texas, hello. I have family in Texas. So is it still boiling hot down there? And Terrell, welcome Terrell. Terrell Ameson is going to be my moderator because he moderates for Fuchsia Studios and he's a wicked moderator. Don't mess with Terrell. Charles Williamson is here, one of my past trivia winners. Hi Charles, welcome. So while you all say hi to each other and get to know each other, and I encourage you, if you aren't supporting each other yet, you should do that because these are all awesome people in here. I'm just going to let new people know that every Friday I do a Friday travel trivia based on a location that I have been to. I don't do trivia on a place that I've never been to because I don't feel like I'm qualified to answer any questions about that place. I ask 10 questions. The first person to answer the question gets a point. And the person with the most points at the end of the 45-minute live stream wins a shout out from me. So I'll put in the description box below, I'll put your channel name and a link to your channel, and hopefully that drives some traffic to your channel. In the woods with Wolfie. He's in it to win it. Welcome. Thanks for coming. Oh, it's raining in Texas. Well, that's a good break from like the plus 109 degree weather you've been having, 117. I don't know. It's been crazy down there. Gail Crabtree, welcome. Thank you for joining. I saw you were live yesterday, Gail, and I couldn't come because I was on my phone. But next time you're live, I'll make sure I join in. Also, for new people, I don't just do Friday travel trivias. I also try my best to post on Wednesdays, and my Wednesday videos go along with a blog post. So if you watch the video and you're like, that's really interesting, you can go to the blog post and you can learn more about that location. And I also try to post on Sundays, and that's called my Simply Video Sundays. And it's just a fun video, so there's no blog post that goes along with that. And I don't do it all the time. I don't travel as much as I'd like to. I have 2 little kids, so I'm not as consistent as I'd like to be, but those are the 3 days you can look for me, are Wednesdays, Sundays, and Fridays. All right, we have 8 people in here now. Nathan, I see, hey Nathan. Is Nathan likes drums in here? Yes, he is. Hey Nathan, welcome. I am glad you joined. It's hard to catch everybody in the chat because I don't know why. I have to watch myself in the chat just to make sure I don't look like an idiot. Bottle Caps is here. Yay, everybody say hi to Bottle Caps. You might have to duck out. Are you at work, Bottle Caps? He had to duck out last time because a customer came in. All right, so 10 questions on San Francisco. The first person to answer gets the point, and I'm just going to use it based on the chat that I see here. And you are allowed to Google. Some people have asked me. Yes, you can Google because I know not everybody's been to the places that I'm talking about. So if you don't know the answer, you can Google it. But I think San Francisco is a pretty popular destination. A lot of people know about San Francisco. So I don't think there'll be a lot of Google-ish kind of questions. I think you should be able to get a lot of what I'm asking. Some of them are pretty easy this week. I did put a lot of effort into finding really hard random facts. So to start it off, I'm just going to give you a little San Francisco hello. I bought this for my daughter when I was down in San Francisco 2 years ago, 2016. I don't know why they have a snow globe for San Francisco because it doesn't snow down there. They did have a really cool, it was called a fog globe. And when you shook it, it looked like fog, and there was the Golden Gate Bridge in the middle, and then you couldn't see it anymore because of the fog. And that seemed more accurate than a snow globe. But here's my San Francisco snow globe to get things shaken. My daughter broke it really bad. Don't buy a snow globe for a 2-year-old. Happy Trails Hiking, welcome. I'm glad you have joined us. Right in time, I'm gonna start with the first question on San Francisco. I've got a pen this time, so I don't have to run away to find a pen. Feel free to go follow each other, go check out each other's channels while we're doing this. I tend to randomly chat about stories in between questions, so you will have time to go meet each other and go check each other out. I didn't get you a fog globe in the woods with Wolfie because they were like $30. They were so cool, though. I kind of wish I'd gotten one. So if I ever go back to San Francisco, I'm getting a fog globe. All right, so the beautiful city of San Francisco has many, many nicknames. The most popular one is called City by the Bay. It used to be called City of Gold in honor of the gold rush that happened there. But if you go to San Francisco, here's a good warning for everybody. There are 2 city nicknames that you should never use when you go down to San Francisco because the locals hate them. So if you can get one of the 2, you get a point. What are the 2 nicknames that you should never refer to San Francisco as? Point goes to the first person who can guess one of those nicknames. I was surprised because I use those nicknames all the time before we went down. But I was informed by a local, not that politely either, to never refer to San Francisco using this term. So there's 2 nicknames. They like City by the Bay and they like City of Gold, but they don't like these other 2 nicknames. Golden Swagger, is Sam one of your guesses? It's not. If it is, it's not the right answer. It has something to do with the name of the city. Charles Williamson gets a point. Yes, the people in San Francisco hate the term Frisco. It's an old nickname. I think it was given to the city like in the 1800s, it was part of a poem, and then a band again referred to them. I think it was it's either Led Zeppelin. I think it's Led Zeppelin had a song about Frisco. So it's an older nickname, but apparently it's not a very welcome nickname because it's like a lazy way of referring to the city. And it's not cute, it's not charming, it's just somebody being lazy. It's like you wouldn't refer to New York as Nork because that's a lazy way of saying New York. So people don't like that. So Frisco is one of the no-nos for the nicknames. And bottle caps. The second nickname, they don't like San Fran. And that's what I always called San Francisco. I just referred to it as San Fran. But apparently that's another lazy way of referring to the city. And so it's not appreciated. So don't use Frisco. Don't use San Fran. Just say San Francisco. Or they don't mind SF, apparently, the initials. I just say San Francisco now. I don't chop it up into anything. Bottle caps. Just Googled San Francisco and all the information he's getting is a drug-infested city and homeless people are everywhere. It's horrible. Yeah, I don't know. There's a homeless population in every major city that you go to, and there's drugs everywhere. There's drugs in my tiny little city. I thought San Francisco was very pretty. There is a district in San Francisco that you should not go to. I can't remember the name of it. It's like Meatpacking District or something. We accidentally wandered to the very outskirts of that district once. We got kind of lost walking on the way to Folsom Street to see the Folsom Street Festival. Google that on your own. My friend wanted to go see the Folsom Street Festival, so we went, and it was eye-opening. Bottle caps? Bottle caps, I dare you to look up the Folsom Street Festival. It is not your style, I don't think. Anyways, we were walking to this festival and we got a little lost and we ended up, I think it's called the Meatpacking District. And the atmosphere changed instantly. We went from one block to the next and the whole atmosphere changed and we got sketched out immediately. We're like, I think we just walked into this district. And sure enough, we had, but that's where Bottle Caps might be getting his information from, might be from that district of the city. The rest of the city, like Happy Trails Hiking says, is great. I loved it down there. It was awesome. Pink Zebra, the Unicorn Crafter, welcome. We are doing, I'm not sure if meatpacking's right. We're doing San Francisco travel trivia, Pink Zebra. So if you've ever been to San Francisco, you'll have an edge. And if not, hopefully you will learn some stuff so that if you ever do go visit, you'll know what to do, what to see, what not to do, what not to say. So Charles Williamson gets point number 1. All right. Maybe you can Google that, Bottle Caps, and see if I'm right, if it's actually the meat packing district. I'm not sure. Question number 2. San Francisco has the largest and the oldest type of this kind of neighborhood in all of North America. So what neighborhood am I referring to? What area of the city? It's the oldest and the largest in all of North America. It's quite famous, and you definitely have to go visit it when you're in San Francisco. So what neighborhood is the oldest and largest in all of North America? And it's found in San Francisco. Happy Trails Hiking, I'm going to give it to you. It's Chinatown. They have the oldest Chinatown in all of North America, and it's also the largest. Pink Zebra, you came in so close, but Happy Trails Hiking beat you by a hair. Happy Trails Hiking. So Chinatown, it's so many blocks. I don't know how many blocks it is, but we took one of the trolleys down to see Chinatown, if I can find the right page. And it's vibrant and colorful. Oh, poor Charles Williamson. You'll get the next one. I can't find, here it is. There are just so many colors. There's like lanterns festooned across the streets. They have the famous Dragon Gate when you enter Chinatown. So here we are dangling off one of the dragons at the Dragon Gate, right here. There's my friend who wanted to go see Folsom Street. Yes, it's a great place to eat and explore. Just the atmosphere. There's all these street stalls selling all these like Chinese foods that I've never seen or heard of. The restaurants smell delicious. And the shopping is really good. I went down there and I got this. It's a kimono robe thing. Here, I'll stand up. It's like this beautiful, long, silky kimono robe. I got it for 20 bucks. Might have even been 15. It was very cheap. So there's some really good shopping for souvenirs down there too at really reasonable prices. And the stores are just packed full of stuff. Happy Trails Hiking. Didn't even have to Google that one. Good job. Yes, so if you are in San Francisco, you better put Chinatown on your to-do list for shopping, for eating, but also just for sightseeing, because it is the oldest and the largest Chinatown in any city in North America. So that's kind of historical, and it's a good place to go. So 1 point for Happy Trails Hiking, 1 point for Charles Williamson. Well, let's get some competition going on. Question number 3. Swimming in San Francisco Bay is actually discouraged because of a certain animal. So why would you not want to go swimming in San Francisco Bay? Not to mention the water is really cold down there. It is not a warm bay. They don't mind you going to the beach and like splashing in the waves, but in the woods with Wolfie is right. San Francisco Bay has a lot of sharks, apparently. So they don't really like people going like scuba diving, snorkeling, that kind of thing in the area, just because of the danger of sharks. There's not a lot of man-eating sharks, but they still call them dangerous sharks. So you're supposed to avoid the water. And they have seen sightings of great white sharks in San Francisco Bay. I think 2015, they had a sighting of a great white shark eating a seal in San Francisco Bay. So not the best place to do some water sports. There's lots of boats on the bay. You'll see lots of yachts and motorboats, but you don't see people water skiing or tubing or anything. You don't see like water play like that, just because there is a danger of sharks in the bay. And Charles Williamson's right, there's lots of seals. When we went walking across the Golden Gate Bridge, you can look down and there's all these like rocks sticking out of the water right by the bridge. And there's tons of seals on them sunbathing. Lots of seals and sea lions down by the pier sunbathing. So there is lots of marine life, but the one you really want to watch out for are the sharks. Lots of boats with bite marks in them. I'm not sure if we have like Jaws type sharks down there, but so in the woods with Wolfie. I'm just going to call you in the woods because I'm lazy. So yeah, also it's cold. We went to Baker's Beach. I just put a video out of Baker's Beach. I redid some of my old San Francisco videos because I did them before I actually was interested in learning how to edit videos. And Baker's Beach was cold, so we just played in the sand mostly. Reports of a great white shark in Nanaimo a week ago. Man, Nanaimo is not having a very good time. Fires, sharks, earthquakes. What's happening to my island? I love Vancouver Island. Bottle Caps is from Vancouver Island, which has been having a heck of a time lately. All right. Oh, Gail Crabtree, you convinced me. I'll stick with the swimming. Yeah, just wade on the beach up to your ankle and you'll be fine. Yeah, I don't know. Go to Mexico for some water play. Question number 4. Are you all ready? I know you're not from Vancouver Island. You're from Texada Island, but it's close for people who don't know where Texada is. Oh, relax, Bottle Caps. Okay, this is the easiest question I have. So get your typing fingers ready because I think this one's going to be a race. Question number 4. What famous prison is nicknamed The Rock? And go. Bottle Caps doesn't like the way I pronounce his island. I wish you were, like I could hear your voice so I could hear how you pronounce it. All right, in the race between answers, Happy Trails Hiking appeared first on my screen. It's okay that you can't spell it right. We did Mexico a couple weeks ago, and my one friend Anya came on and tried to spell Chichen Itza. It was the best spelling I've ever seen in my whole life. It was so awesome. I'll never forget it. So I forgive bad spelling. So Happy Trails Hiking with 2 points on the board, 1 for Alcatraz. So Alcatraz is probably the most important tourist destination in San Francisco. There's been movies made on it and songs made about it. There's been massive prison escapes from it. It's really popular, so something that I learned that's very important is make sure you buy your tickets about 3 months in advance, or you're going to have to end up in the standby line, which doesn't guarantee you a spot on a boat. I got a point because Texada Island nickname is The Rock. But it's not The Rock. Sends Happy to Alcatraz. No more points for you. Oh, In the Woods with Wolfie is getting a little bitter. Happy Trails Hiking is on fire today. So yeah, I think at this point there's only one company that does boat tours out to Alcatraz Island, and they book up really fast. So we booked our tickets like 3 or 4 months in advance. And then when you get there, you have to go to, I think it's Pier 40 or Pier 41, something like that. And you have to line up and wait for your turn at the boat. And the lineup is like zigzagging all down the pier. It's such a popular destination. So we got there, we lined up, we ended up at the front of the line for our time to leave. So we got our pick of spots on the boat. And here's another tip then, Happy Trails Hiking. Don't go to the lower deck at the front of the boat. because that's where we went, and it said caution wet zone, and we're like, hee, we're gonna get a little wet on the way out to Alcatraz. Well, it hit the first wave and we got doused in water. So we had to spend our whole trip through Alcatraz just soaking wet. Like it took us almost the whole tour through Alcatraz to dry off because you're inside this dark, chilly prison the whole time. So we were just soaking wet for the whole tour. It was kind of uncomfortable. So don't stand in the wet zone unless you want to do your tour of Alcatraz soaking wet because we got drenched. Oh, Gail Grabchi has to go. Well, thanks for joining. You can always watch the replay if you want to learn a little bit more about San Francisco for the future. But thanks for coming. What else was I going to say about Alcatraz? It's cool. You should really go. I mean, a lot of people are like, it's not worth the money. It's not worth the wait to get the ticket. But it is. Like if you go once, that's all you need to do. You don't need to go to Alcatraz every time you go to San Francisco. But it is worth it to see once. Just watching how the old school locks used to work, I snuck in with a tour group. I'm too cheap to pay for the tour, but I kind of snuck into the back of one and I got to see how the lock demo worked. And I do have a video of it on my channel if you want to go back and look at it. But it was all sorts of like cranks and pulleys and levers, nothing computerized, obviously, because it's an old prison. But it worked really well. There's like a system of 3 locks and they had to like clank one, pull one, and one lock would disengage, and then crank and lock another, and then the second lock would disengage. So there was no way you could just slide the door open and get out. It was a big thing just to get the doors unlocked. And then, yeah, they go through this audio tour and it talks about all of the escape attempts and the successful escapes. And it talks about some of the most famous prisoners like Al Capone. And then there's just the view too. Once you're on the rock and you look back at the city of San Francisco, you can see the whole skyline of the city and of the Golden Gate Bridge. And it's really gorgeous. So go to Alcatraz at least once if you ever get the chance to go to San Francisco, but book early. All right, I'll shut up about Alcatraz and move on. Yep, Wrabbit likes to prisons. My haunted prisons, just as long as I'm not behind the bars myself. All right, question 5. I think my timing's good. So here's for all the fancy wine people out there, which is I am a wine person. What 2 famous winemaking regions border San Francisco? So San Francisco is in a valley. What 2 famous winemaking regions border San Francisco? You can go on day tours. You can go on train tours, but they're expensive. All right, In the Woods with Wolfie gets a point for Napa. I'm going to give a point for, oh, there we go. Happy Trails Hiking too. So In the Woods with Wolfie and Happy Trails Hiking. Napa and Sonoma, I think I'm saying it right, Sonoma, are the 2 wine regions. And Charles Williamson, oh, you had it. You're just a touch behind the other 2. Oh, he's gonna get grumpy at me. So if you go to San Francisco and you like wine, take a day off of the city, get out into the countryside and do a wine tour of one of the valleys. It depends what your wine taste is. If you're more into the fancier, more expensive wines, kind of the more established vineyards, then you might want to do the Napa tour because that's where the fancier vineyards are. That's where they do the train tours and all the celebrities go to Napa. We went to Sonoma because we are poor and also we're not wine snobs. I'm just happy to drink any wine. So we did the Sonoma tour. Also, we didn't actually stay right in San Francisco when we were there. We stayed in a little town. We had to go across the Golden Gate Bridge. I can't remember what it is for the life of me right now. I could read it in my book, but it might take me forever to find it. Anyways, we stayed in a town outside of San Francisco and Sonoma was much closer for us to drive to. So, but we did a self-tour and we went to several vineyards. I don't have a video about this because I wasn't into vlogging when we did this. But I do have a blog post on it if you want to read about some of the vineyards we visited. We went to the Jacuzzi vineyard, so like the Jacuzzi company that makes hot tubs. They actually have a vineyard, and so they make wine. So we did a tasting there. And then we went to one called Vianza, Sonoma, which had really nice wines and a really nice gift shop. We went to the Kenwood vineyard, which ages their wine in like not just your normal oak barrel, but they had a 2-story oak barrel. So they were aging their wine in these massive 2-story oak barrels. They're huge. And we went to Gloria Ferrer sparkling wine. And my favorite was called Deerfield. We almost drove past it. It didn't look like anything off the road. It looked like this crappy little vineyard that somebody was just doing out of their backyard. And we're like, But we're like, it's our last one. Let's just go. Let's have one more tasting and then we'll go home. And it turned out to be my favorite. The reason we couldn't see all of the fancy vineyard stuff, like there was no big building, no wine tasting room, anything like that. It was a little cottage and then the vineyards and then like plastic Quonset where they kept all of their grape crushing machines. And it didn't look like much. Sorry, I'll address the chat in a second. But once you got to Deerfield, there was this big metal door in the wall of this cliff of rock. And once you open the big metal door, the entire vineyard tasting room and stuff was inside this massive cave built in this big hill. So all their barrels, all their aging barrels were down all these hallways and tunnels that were in this cave. Their tasting room, their gift shop, their washrooms, everything was inside this cave built into this hillside. It was amazing. It was the coolest vineyard I've ever been to, and we almost skipped it, so I'm glad we didn't. So if anyone's doing a Sonoma tour, do Deerfield Vineyards because you will love it. You will love it. Happy Trails Hiking has been there. Yes, it is just the coolest. And they don't charge you to go in the cave. Whereas we were looking at one in Napa Valley that has their stuff in a cave, and it was $25 just to enter the doors to go and check out their tasting room inside the cave. That didn't even cover the tasting fee. It was just $25 to walk into the cave. Whereas this one, we just walked in. There was nobody in the yard, nobody by the grape machines, nobody by the house. It was like empty and abandoned and kind of creepy. And then we walked in through the doors and everyone's like, hey, come on in, drink some wine. Yes, rabbit down the rabbit hole. All right, you guys are talking in the chat here. Donate to my PayPal account so I can buy a gallon of goof. I don't even have a PayPal account. I don't ask people for money. I do this channel because I like doing it. So you don't need to donate to my PayPal account. I make my own wine bottle caps. I'm good. Rabbit, Jeanette says you need to do trivia an hour earlier each week. I would if I could, but I have to time it now so that I can feed my kids and get them out of the way so that I can actually have 45 minutes to myself. So if I did it at 11 o'clock, I would have a child sitting here and a child sitting here, and it would be really annoying. So noon it is. Charles Williamson likes bubbly. Good for you. Anybody who likes wine is a friend of mine. Happy Trails Hiking, loved Sonoma. In the Woods with Wolfie. If I ever get my bike back on the road, I want to do tour videos of all our wineries here. Can I come with you? I will come visit you to do a wine tour. Ben, welcome. Benjamin Chavez in the house. Awesome. We are halfway through the trivia, Ben. We just finished question 5, and I'm talking about wine. And I should probably stop talking about wine because I could talk about wine forever. Happy Trails Hiking thinks In the Woods with Wolfie should do distilleries. We actually have some local distilleries and breweries here in my hometown. I should do a little tour of those. We've got Blind Man Brewing, Troubled Monk Brewing, 3 others, and a new distillery that just opened. So you could watch me go downhill as the day progresses in my video. Although I might never get a teaching job again, so maybe I shouldn't do that. All right. Where am I from? I am in Alberta. I'm in central Alberta near Red Deer. So it's the craft beer brewery industry has kind of exploded here, and like everybody and their dog's opening up a craft brewery right now. So I can have a lot of fun with that. And I'll keep that in the back of my head. I'm not sure as a teacher if that would be a good idea, but okay. Question 6. So Ben, are you ready? Question 6. You could still catch up. Oh, our points are Charles Williamson has 1 point. Happy Trails Hiking has 3 points. In the Woods with Wolfie has 2 points. Because one question I gave away an extra point because I had 2 answers. Oh, Happy Trails Hiking does Thirsty Thursdays. Nice. And she used to teach. She or he? I can't remember. I'm sorry. And Bottle Caps has 0 points. He has an imaginary point for guessing his own island as the rock. So we'll give him that. Question number 6. What transportation system in San Francisco is most famous? Hi, Kay. Sorry, I didn't want to say the wrong thing. Butcher Cuisine, hello, welcome. We just started question number 6, and I will repeat it for the new people here. What transportation system is the most famous in San Francisco? Did I say that right? There's a specific name for it. It is not trolley, and it is not streetcar, and it is not tram. It's a very specific kind of transportation system that's not seen much anymore. I'll give you guys a few seconds to think about it. They do have streetcars, which are also known as trolleys. Oh my God, Bottle Caps got a point. Everybody say, hey. Good job, Bottle Caps. It's called a cable car. Different from a streetcar or trolley, because the cable cars are pulled along in the front. They're connected to an actual cable, which pulls them up and down the hills. If the cable car gets disconnected from the cable, then everything goes to a halt while they fix it. Streetcars are different. They run with electricity on the top of the car. And so there's lines that go all down their routes, and they have to have that little pole that's connected to the electricity. So that's what a trolley or a streetcar are. I learned all of this before I went down because I wanted to make sure I didn't get stranded anywhere in San Francisco. So cable cars are the iconic ones that everyone sees in the pictures where people are dangling out the side. They were in the Full House intro. So cable cars aren't seen much anymore because they're a pain in the ass, because you have to have cables running through all the streets. And when the cable car gets to the end of its line, there's that turnaround. I don't know if anybody's ridden the cable cars before, but they only go in one direction because they are attached to a pulley system, basically. So they get to the turnaround point, they lock into this circular part of the road that actually spins. 2 employees for the cable car system grab each end of the cable car and they manually spin it around so it's facing the right direction again. They rehook it to the cable and off it goes back down its route again. So that's why they're called cable cars, because they're just getting pulled along basically. Whereas streetcars need the electricity, and they do have like bus systems and all that kind of stuff, but cable cars are the most iconic and the most popular ones in San Francisco. And here comes a child. Yes? Yes?
Two sunglasses.
Oh, good Lord. Come show people what you're doing. Show people what you're doing with your lunch. He's shoving sausage in his eyes and saying they're sunglasses. Okay, you're weird. Go finish your lunch. Okay,
Well,
buddy?
sunglasses.
Sunglasses? Okay, you're a strange child. Okay, go finish your lunch. Can you shut the door, love? Bud, can you shut the door? Your face is so greasy from sticking sausage on it. Oh my God, he's so weird. Weirdest kid out there. Everywhere we go, every birthday party, he's always the weirdest one. Or my daughter too. My daughter's like this hippie. We went to music in the park the other night, and they have like a semicircle around the stage, and then a local band plays. And my daughter's there. She dressed herself, so she's got like a striped shirt in one color and then a polka dot skirt in another color. and she's head banging and doing somersaults and showing everybody her underwear, and she's the only one out there. She's such a hippie. Yeah, those are my kids. They're a lot like me. Okay, bottle caps on the board with a point, getting the cable car answer right. I think I'm missing some stuff in the chat. I've got Stephen Miller has joined. Welcome, welcome. And everybody's saying hi. Stephen's laughing at my child. You have every right to. Okay. Question number 7. This one should be pretty easy too, so get your typing fingers ready. What famous street is located in San Francisco that consists of tight hairpin curves? So the street goes down a hill and it curves like this the whole way down the hill. What is that street called? Quite famous, often in postcards and videos about San Francisco. Happy Trails Hiking, nailed it again. It is called Lombard Street. Happy Trails. So Lombard Street, I'll find a picture because if you can't think of it in your head, as soon as I show you a picture, you're going to know what it is. If I can find it. It is this one right here. So there's all the hairpin curves. We walked down the hill. The bus driver, the cable car driver let us off at the top, and we walked down the hill. It's a one-way street. Cars drive insanely slow going down it. It looks painful to drive down. I don't think I'd want to drive down it, but we walked down it and it was nice. Here's us standing at the base of it, and then there's the view of San Francisco from Lombard Street. So yeah, it was nice to walk down. I wouldn't want to walk up. Another thing I wouldn't want to live there, because like imagine trying to park in that driveway when there's constantly cars backed up on the road and people always walking in front of your house. Like the sidewalk goes right through people's front yards basically. So I would not want to live on Lombard Street, but it was cool to see. It was cool to walk down. Kind of one of those iconic San Francisco images that everybody can recognize. Michael McReynolds, welcome to Friday Travel Trivia, the fun way to start your weekend. We are talking about San Francisco. We have 3 questions left, and everybody here, the person to beat is Kay from Happy Trails Hiking, because she's got 1, 2, 3, 4 points. In the Woods with Wolfie, behind at second place with 2 points, and tied for third is Bottle Caps and Charles Williamson. So time to get on the board for the rest of you, if you can. Michael McReynolds, first time here. Stop by to show my support to your channel. Awesome. Thank you for coming. I'm trying to do this every Friday. I didn't get to do it last Friday because we had half a cow delivered to my house and I had to unload 7 boxes of meat into the freezer. So that's why I couldn't do a live stream. Stephen Miller, the curves on the roads look like look from Initial D, my favorite show. Maybe it was filmed there. I know Lombard Street is really popular. Must be like living next to the movies. Yeah, kind of cool to live on one of those iconic places. Everybody, you don't have to give directions. You're like, yeah, I live on Lombard. Everybody can find you. What did I do with the other half of the cow? We split the sale with somebody else, so we only bought half. And then we actually split that half with somebody because once we saw how much half the cow was, we're like, we can't eat this much. So we actually bought a quarter of a cow, if that makes sense. All right, Initial D is from Japan. Oh, okay. I've never heard of it. Interesting. Is it like a murder mystery kind of show? Happy Joe's Hiking also does a quarter of a cow. Yeah, I like it. Then you've got roasts and you've got steaks and you got ground beef for months. So I don't have to worry about meal planning anymore. All right, caught up on the chat. Everybody looks like they're getting to know each other, which is awesome. Street racing anime. Okay. I'm gonna ask my little. She loves anime. She makes me watch it with her sometimes. So I've seen a few anime shows. Question number 8. This is a true or false answer. Okay. So quick with your typing. The famous painted ladies' houses. So those are those 4 or 5 houses that are all in a row right outside of a park. They're used in movie intros. Let's see if I can find them. We did a house tour on one of the days we were in San Francisco. If I can find the page, I should have bookmarked these beforehand, but I'm not that smart. There we go. So we went and saw the painted ladies, okay, just before I finish the question. Those are the famous houses called the painted ladies. True or false? The painted ladies' houses that I just showed were used as a set for the TV show Full House. True or false? Those houses were the set for the TV show Full House. You got a 50% chance of answering this correctly. True or false? Does anybody remember Full House? They did a revamp. Oh, we have some different answers here. Stephen Miller says true, and Happy Trails Hiking says false. Happy Trails Hiking is correct. Killing it. So Happy Trails Hiking says false, and that is the correct answer. The painted ladies were just used in the intro montage for Full House. So they show a clip of them on the cable car, they show a little clip of the painted ladies, and everybody just assumed that that was the place that these people were supposed to be living, were in the painted ladies. But that's not the actual set. The actual set is a lot less impressive. I don't know why I just closed that page. I wish I hadn't. Here's the actual house for Full House right here. It's in a random neighborhood. It doesn't have a fabulous view like the painted ladies do because they're right on the edge of a park. And if you go into the park, you can see all of San Francisco. This house from the actual set is just in a regular old neighborhood. It's just this random house. The only way you know that it is a movie set is they have a little white chain link fence around the front yard. And that's it. It looks like a normal house. Yeah, Ben, you got it right, but on my screen, hers is right above you. So that's the one that I see first. I know it's the chat always shows your answer coming up first, but I do a screen share, but last time I did a screen share, my whole chat froze and I'm scared that's gonna do it again. So sorry, Ben, you were right behind her, right behind her. So Happy Trails Hiking gets another point for that. There's so many cool houses in San Francisco you can go visit. So there's the Painted Ladies, which are, they've been used in movie montages. I don't think they've ever actually been used as a set themselves. There's the Full House house. There's the Mrs. Doubtfire house, which I should actually show you. It's kind of heartbreaking to go visit the Mrs. Doubtfire house. So we went to the Mrs. Doubtfire house, which is, I guess, nothing crazy special. It's pretty big for a San Francisco house. It's right on a corner lot. But outside the house, they have, like you can see the trees here on the boulevard. These trees have tons of messages written dedicated to Robin Williams because, I mean, we went in 2016, so it wasn't that long after his death. And there's all these well wishes and respect being paid to Robin Williams. Even the pebbles on the ground below the trees have people's, I don't know, what do you call them? Remembrances written on them. Every single tree on the boulevard is covered and all the rocks are covered. Everything is written in dedication of Robin Williams. So that was kind of interesting to go see. Okay. Yeah, that house does look like the Miss Doubtfire house, but the Mrs. Doubtfire house is a lot bigger than the Full House set. Thanks, Michael. Nice live stream. I'm glad you could come. I do it every Friday at noon, so if you want to come back, that's great. Mrs. Doubtfire. Yeah, that was a few years ago when Robin Williams took his own life. I have not watched Fuller House yet. I haven't seen it. Bottle caps, you did not get it. You got 1 point. You got a point for the cable car. Yeah, it was sad and nice, Happy Trails. It's sad that, you know, such a beloved person took his own life, but it was really nice that everyone took the time to pay their respects. I don't know if I'd like living there and having people show up to my house and write on my trees all the time, but I guess that's what you get when you buy a former movie set. You have to kind of know that you're going to have fans as a part of your life, even though you have nothing to do with the movie. 4 years ago. Thanks, Angela. So yeah, it would have been we went there in 2016, so it would have been 2 years since he passed. But anyways, lots of famous houses in San Francisco is my main point. All right, Happy Trails Hiking has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. In the Woods with Wolfie has 2. Bottle Caps and Charles Williamson have 1. So I don't know if Happy Trails Hiking can be beat, but you can certainly try. Question number 9. San Francisco has many, many piers because it is an oceanside city. Which pier is the most famous for food, shopping, and street performers? This is the pier that you go to for some souvenir shopping, some tourist action. There's also an aquarium there, which we went to, and it's really pretty. I don't know if you ethically agree with aquariums, but I still went to go see it because I like fish. So what pier is the most famous for tourists to go visit? Not 51. I think that's a store. The one that has stuff on it. Oh, you're so close in the Woods with Wolfie. What number is it? What number of pier is the most famous? Lots of sea lions, lots of fat, lazy, I don't know if they're seals or sea lions, lolling about. Close in the Woods with Wolfie. You're kind of close. No problem, Michael. Come back any day. Pier 1 is the star. Thanks, Happy Trails Hiking. There's just so many piers. In the Woods with Wolfie's like kind of close. Not really, but it's got 1 number right. You're all making me doubt myself. No, I'm right. I got it. Cannery Row. Is it Cannery Row in Calgary? In the Woods with Wolfie has 1 of his numbers correct. Ah, there he goes. In the Woods with Wolfie. Pier 39, not 49. See, I had to go double check because you guys were all making me doubt myself. But there's Pier 39. And there's all those fat, lazy sea lions lolling about enjoying Pier 39. So Pier 39, it's your typical tourist shtick. There's so many souvenir shops. There's lots of restaurants. You want some good clam chowder, you go down to Pier 39. Lots of great views. You can take boat tours from Pier 39. You can hire sea captains for rent. Like it's really pretty. I mean, it's worth a visit just because it's stuffed full with tourists, but like there's little, like each of these little awnings is a restaurant that has fresh seafood, like lobster sandwiches and all this stuff. There was a 2-story carousel that I really liked right here. So you could go for a ride on a 2-story carousel. You'd have to go up a flight of stairs. My favorite part, you guys are gonna make fun of me for this. I still get made fun of for this from the ladies that I went down there with. But they have street performers down there. And they had an acrobat down there the day I went. So he was standing on this big table that was on a pole. And then he had like a cylinder. And then he had a board balanced on top of the cylinder. And then he had like plastic cups that he was standing on top of another board, rolling on the cylinder balanced on the table that was up on a pole. And oh my God. Let's just say he was talented. Very talented. I took like a 20-minute video of him. But besides being attractive, he was actually very talented. So I'm not just being like an old cougar creeper, but like, look at him. He was like balancing on the cylinder way up in the sky. It was insane. He was so good. So after, he had like a photo op. So we went down to take a picture with him. I might have gotten a little handsy. I might have rubbed his abs like an accordion, but I really enjoyed Pier 39 is what I'm trying to say. So In the Woods with Wolfie got that point. Pier 39 has a really great atmosphere. So if you're okay with a little bit of crowds and if you're okay with kind of the tourist stuff, Pier 39 is a fun place to spend an afternoon. And I do recommend the aquarium. It's really nice. I guessed at all my answers except Alcatraz. That's all right. You guys are doing awesome. Happy Trails Hiking has also been to San Francisco and recommends it. The best clam chowder is on BC ferries. Bottle Cabs, I love your loyalty. Okay, we're down to the last question. I'm 3 minutes over time, but that's okay. My kids are being quiet. The rabbit likes her. I sure do, which is ironic because I don't have any, but I mean, they're under there somewhere. Question number 10. You can rent bikes to explore Golden Gate Park. We rented a 4-person bike for 5 women. What is the name of a 4-person bike? It's also a name of a town in BC, Bottle Caps. So has anybody ridden a 4-person bike? If you have, what are they called? They have a special name. I did not eat any clam chowder while I was down there on the coast. For some reason, the only seafood that we had was when we went to that fish and chips restaurant in Parksville. We were going to go down for a really nice seafood dinner in, oh my God, words, Victoria, but then it was raining and we ended up just going back to the hotel. It's not called a double tandem, Charles Williamson. 4 women riding a bicycle. There was 5 of us, and it was a disaster. In the Woods with Wolfie gets a point. It's called a surrey. I only learned that when I was on this San Francisco trip. I didn't even know they made 4-people bikes until I went on this San Francisco trip. But yes, it's made for 4 people. We had 6 of us in our travel group, but the day we went to Golden Gate Park, one of them had a migraine, so she just stayed behind to like float in the pool at the hotel. So there's 5 of us, and we can make this work. We can all shove onto this 4-person bike. So I got stuck sitting in the middle of the back with my butt jammed on this sharp railing, which ended up being painful, but it also worked out pretty well because I didn't have to pedal. So here are 5 of us jammed on this 4-person bike. What we didn't know was their brakes don't work very well. So we chose this downhill route where the road we were going down ended at a very busy intersection and the brakes didn't work. So I took a video of us doing this, and there is a video on my channel, but you can just see us rolling towards these oncoming cars screaming. There's some bleeping because we're swearing, but we used our feet like Fred Flintstone and we braked with our heels and we got it to stop. Farmal Fanatic, welcome. We're just about done. We just finished question number 10, but hopefully you can tune in next week. Who said, oh no, Happy Trails hiking? Yeah, it was a little scary. Also, we were halfway around the park working our way back and the damn pedal broke off of our bike. Do you know how hard it is to pedal 5 middle-aged women around a park when you don't have a pedal on your bike? Let's see if I can find it. I got down. I was wearing a dress of all things too. So as we were flying through this intersection, my dress blew up like over my head and we had cars honking at us. It was just like Bottle Cap said, it was a disaster. Dresses flying, pedals flying off, women screaming and swearing. So there's me in a dress trying to fix the pedal that fell off this bike, which we couldn't get it to fix. So we were almost out of time. We had to push this stupid bike. So we had everybody in the park laughing at us because we were pushing the surrey back to the beginning. And we were almost out of time to bring it back for a rental limitation. So I had to phone him. I had to phone the guy that did the rental, and he was kind of prissy with me about how we broke his bike. And we're like, dude, the pedal fell off. It's the first time I ever swore at somebody on a service call. Because I was like, I'm not paying extra because you gave us a faulty bike. Anyways, it was a disaster. We still had a lot of fun. if you watch the video, it's like us laughing the whole time, but it was legit a total disaster. I don't think I'd do 5 people on a 4-person bike ever again. But Golden Gate Park was beautiful. We got to see lots of it as we were pushing the bike around. All right, that ends the trivia. Japanese lifestyle. Hello, welcome. You're like me at the Pusa live streams where I tune in right at the end. But that's okay. You can go back and learn more about San Francisco if you want to watch. I find that hard to believe. You're Canadian. We swear at everyone on service. I'm actually really polite. I try to be very understanding. But now I have cats meowing at me. But yeah, I'm not paying extra rental money because somebody gave me a bike that's broken. All right, I'm pretty sure I know who won this trivia this week. We've got in the lead, Happy Trails Hiking with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. So congrats to Happy Trails Hiking. You are the San Francisco expert this week. In second place, though, we have In the Woods with Wolfie with 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, 1, 2, hold up. I can't count. 1, 2, 3, yeah, 4, 5, okay. So 4 points for In the Woods with Wolfie, 5 points for Happy Trails Hiking. And Bottle Caps and Charles Williamson for third place with 1 point each. There, I can count. My day is complete. So congratulations, Happy Trails Hiking. Also In the Woods with Wolfie for being so close, so close. I did have a tiebreaker question just in case we had a tie, because we had a tie last time. But I could still say it. This one's just for fun. What type of giant tree grows in the nearby Muir Woods National Park? There's big trees that you cannot put your arms around because they're so massive. This one's just for fun. But I did have a bonus question in case. But these trees are huge. So what kind of trees are they? Does anybody know? Oh, and Happy Trails Hiking and In the Woods with Wolfie, one right after the other. They are redwoods. Oh, everybody's getting it right. Good job. They're called technically coastal redwoods, but they are redwoods. I thought they were sequoias when I went down, but I was informed sequoias are further south. So the ones by San Francisco are called redwoods. The real name of the redwood, I don't know. All I know is what I read in the forest. They are 700 years old, though. I did read that. 700-year-old coastal redwoods. Oh, 50Tube. I'm glad you came, but yeah, we're just ending now. But in time to say goodbye, right. Well, I appreciate you showing up. Okay, I am 10 minutes over what I like to say is my limit, but the kids are quiet. Hopefully nobody choked on anything while I was in here. So congratulations to Happy Trails Hiking. And I'm also going to shout out to In the Woods with Wolfie for a very, very close second. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I hope you guys end up having an awesome weekend. I'm having a birthday/anniversary party for my parents. So actually right now I'm going to pack up my car and leave. So I'm off to have a fun weekend with my family. But I appreciate everybody tuning in. I will be back again next Friday. I think I'm doing it on Rome next Friday. So if anybody's been to Rome, you'll have an edge. And if not, study up for next Friday. So thank you everybody for coming. This was a lot of fun. You guys were a great crowd. And I will see you next Friday. Bye.